Hello everybody, it's Jeff. Welcome to St. Andrew's Memorial Garden. And the Memorial Garden at St. Andrew's is where I teach a couple yoga classes during the week out here in this beautiful space. When I think about yoga, not just teaching it, but taking part as a student myself, I think about it as a rest, a Sabbath, and a fresh start once we leave our mats. And we've been learning about that in this week's lesson, this final lesson for Camp at Home. So if you think about a yoga class, if you've ever participated in one, or if you watch this week's video, the full yoga video, you'll see that towards the end there, I demonstrate getting down in a fetal position after we get out of Shavasana. So Shavasana looks like this. And then we bring our knees to the chest and roll onto the side body into this fetal position. So this fetal position always symbolizes new beginnings once we leave our mats. New beginnings and fresh starts. So if you haven't done this week's yoga session, or maybe you've already done it, but the next time you do it, or the first time you do it, think about that once you get up, after we say namaste, and think about that as a fresh new start. When we come to today's story, the Israelites have been wandering the wilderness for many, many years after being released from slavery in Egypt. And they come to rest at the base of Mount Sinai. And Moses, on Mount Sinai, gets new instructions from God as to how the Israelites are intended to live together in this promised land. And one of the things God instructs Moses to have the Israelites observe is something called a Jubilee. A Jubilee is a fresh start. When we are given a fresh start, we see, we feel, and we trust how God's abundance is meant for all people and all creation. As you listen to today's story, think about what it's like for you to have a fresh start. This week's story about God's Jubilee comes to us from Leviticus 25. The people of Israel journeyed through the vast wilderness for many years. Finally, they arrived at Mount Sinai, where they rested. God gave instructions to their leader, Moses, for their life together in this new land. These were the things God said. In this land we will practice Sabbath together. This will not happen only on the seventh day, but on the seventh year. For 6 years we will do our regular work and plant seeds, will grow, prune, and harvest fruits. But in the seventh year we'll let the land rest. Even the land needs peace and quiet. Everyone will be able to harvest and eat whatever the land gives us in the seventh year. In the 50th year, we will celebrate Jubilee together. This will be like the Sabbath every 7 years, where we'll let the land rest. It will be the fresh start for the whole community, the land and the people, and everyone will go to their homes and be together in joy. It is a holy time, and we will be fed and nourished by whatever the land gives us. In this time, we will respond with justice by giving fresh starts. This means that we will be fair and honest to one another. We will take care of those who are sick, alone, old, or need help. We will welcome people who are from different countries, and they will be like family. We will work for people's freedom. We will all work together to help everyone rest and rejoice in God's abundance. I will bless the land during this year so you do not have to work the land. I promise we will all be fed and nourished by the land's gifts. What do you imagine when you hear the word justice? Do you imagine courthouses or police officers? Do you imagine what happens when someone hurts you and they are punished for it? Do you imagine it's like equal treatment? Everyone gets the same amount of food or treats? Often God's ideas are very different from ours. God's idea of justice looks more like all the ways we've talked about compassion, seeing and welcoming, being brave and honest, loving ourselves, being present with each other. It means we see God's abundance. What does abundance mean? It means there's enough for everyone. We can welcome all to the table. We can be brave and trust each other. We can be honest with our hearts. We can give and receive care. And we can do the work with God to care for all creation.